Hey folks, this is Kyle Keogh with a new training video. This is from a deadlift session that I did today, restarting my macro cycle, heading into my next meet, which is either 7 or 8 weeks away. I believe the date's August the 1st. First session I did was 4:30 for 5 sets of 8. This one is 4:55 for 5 sets of 8. Next session is going to be somewhere in the range of 4:75, 4:80. Running a condensed version of the macro cycle, so not quite as many sessions as before, especially that accumulation phase has been dropped down from, I think, 6 sessions down all the way to 3. But I am running my normal progression, and instead of doing a variation, I'm just going to run it with pulls off of the floor. So not doing any pause deadlifting, not doing any deficit pulls, focusing entirely on just pulling off the floor. Again, 4:55, 5 sets of 8. Really want to do that sport-specific work heading into the meet because I haven't actually done any regular pulls off of the floor in a matter of months. Not to say that a 2-inch deficit is all that different for me, mechanically speaking, versus a pull off the floor, but I do want to accomplish some of that sport-specific work heading into this meet, so I figured what the hell, I'll drop the variations, focus on pulling with good technique, which was really a point of emphasis on this. Going into my last meet, I still had this style of deadlifting where I would go from a relaxed to a contracted state at the bottom, and that worked fine when I was fresh and pulling on a deadlift bar that gave me some slack, but most of the time in training, especially when my back was fried, I'd either end up getting hurt or I would just not perform well because I was so reliant on bar speed. And so I knew after that last meet, in which admittedly I pulled very well, but I knew after that last meet I was going to have to make some technical changes moving forward, moving up a weight class following Raw Unity, and so I'm going to be going up to 165, and I just know that if I want to pull the numbers that I want to pull, I'm just going to have to be more technical because I'm not going to be able to go with the same snap off the floor that I've been using to get here and continue to increase in poundages. So it's definitely changed my strength curve as I'm training. My deadlifts are pretty smooth all the way. There's no real point of acceleration. Sometimes early in my sets, I accelerate a little bit through my lockout, but in all honesty, once I start to get a little tired, that evens out. So it's nice and smooth the whole way through, which is kind of what I'm aiming for. There's no obvious breakdowns in my strength curve, which just tells me that I'm using my leverages correctly for my builds and not exposing myself to any serious weakness, which is what I was doing before when I was basically flying off the floor but missing everything right at lockout because I would not be careful at all with my thoracic position and round over pretty badly with my hips high at the start of my pulls in competition. So just focusing on a nice slow break off the floor, staying contracted, and just working on keeping my position. It does make it so that the bar speed slows down a lot, and these feel like they're moving really, really slow, but it also feels nice and controlled, and I'm actually performing the reps well, which is what I want. So I've seen really big progress in my deadlift technique coming off of this last meet. Squat is definitely still a work in progress. Bench always has technically been pretty good and pretty smooth, but the deadlift has really come a long way, so I'm really happy about that. Long term, I think that at 65, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to develop into like a 700-pound deadlifter. I mean, the last meet I did at 48, I did 622 at 48, so if you figure that's factoring in the, if I put on 17 pounds of muscle mass and move up a weight class long term in terms of percentage of body weight lifted, that's going to end up netting me around a 675 or something like that. So I just develop a little bit beyond that point. I would be in the range of 7, which I think is a longer term goal. I think I'll probably be close to there by this August meet. Depends on how I project out, but my thinking is somewhere between 650 and 675, and that's just based on the info and the feedback I've been getting from my training. But I have no idea. It's just going to have to see how things go. But Really happy with this session, and I got one more with this template. So keep checking in, more videos for you soon.